You are now tuned in to Hits 92.3, where we take great pride in personal expression of one's feelings, thoughts, or ideals. What you're getting ready to hear on this show are the opinions of the hosts and their guests, and they do not reflect the opinions of Hits 92.3 radio station, the brand, management, staff, their respective advertisers, parent companies, or affiliates. Now, stay tuned as this show begins in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good morning. Good morning. You are tuned into the Lick Show on Hits 92.3 with your girl, Kels. It has been a while, and I feel like every single time I come on, I say it has been a while since I've been on air. Hey, Hits 92.3 family. Shout out to the Hood Unicorn in the building. All hustle, no fear. So, look, we got a special interview this morning. We're going to talk about the Spark House.
Yes.
Tank experience. Did I say that right?
Yeah, you got it.
Okay. So introduce yourself and tell everybody who you are and what you're doing here.
Hey, y'all. So I am Felicity Swindle Smith, CEO of Felicity Digital Lab. We are a full-service digital marketing agency with a signature service in public relations. Personally, I'm all about scaling and growing small businesses through press, visibility, and now even events.
I love it. I love it. So tell everybody what you did, because I think it's such a dope. And again, I have not been on air in a while, but I definitely was like, oh yeah, I'll definitely take this interview. So I like to talk about things that people are doing that's bringing change into their communities, and what you are doing with these college students are amazing. So tell us a little bit about what you did.
Okay. So, in my hobby, I like to be a social impact leader, and being that Clark Atlanta University is my alma mater, I saw a need in the AUC for like a change in like really cultivating entrepreneurs. I have a lot of mentees who were like, there's just nothing here for us, or like the things that are there doesn't really benefit us in the entrepreneur space, more so just like the company or a strategy, the things that you need, the tools that you need, but not that hands-on experience. So I was like, okay. Then I got accepted into the Truist Foundation and the Watson Institute, and we'll talk a little bit about that later.
Okay.
But they gave each and every cohort fellow $1,000 stipend to hold what they call a base camp. A base camp is basically just an event.
Okay.
But one of the ways that I was able to like collaborate that social impact, but also like to kind of flex on my skills as a publicist, was to take that entire $1,000 stipend that they gave me and then give it away to the students.
I love it.
So
that's amazing.
Yes, like everything at the event, from food to drinks to decor, everything was sponsored. So that's the real flex. I know what I'm doing. I'm that girl. That PR
she is
girl.
that girl.
And I felt like that proved it. But more than anything, I love being able to like still be involved in that campus community and like mentor other people, because mentorship is important.
Mentorship is definitely important. I do want to talk a little bit about you before we get into that, because you did say you are a publicist and people might need your services. Right. So what's your company?
Yeah, so Felicity Digital Lab, which I'm just telling you guys about, we are a full service digital marketing agency, but the signature service is in public relations. And public relations is more so like a niche-based business. There are a lot of publicists who deal with musicians, but for me, I like small businesses or brick and mortar locations. So like people who have pizza shops, ice cream locations. I did the celebrity thing for a long time, and it just wasn't my lane no more. I started to become drained. And also being a celebrity kid, like my stepfather was Kango Kid. Some may know UTFO, Roxanne. That's him.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I'm also a Wu-Tang baby from Staten Island, New York. Shaolin.
Okay.
So the industry has just been something I've always been around, and I just decided that's not what I want to do anymore.
Awesome.
But I have like a passion for helping small businesses, and I found that lane. So if you're a small business owner who wants kind of just to be more visible, we'll get you the interviews, we'll get you the press. You know, those Forbes features that y'all see everybody getting, they paying for them $1,200 a pop.
Woo!
Yeah. But if you know the right people, you can get it for lower.
Okay.
So one of the main things is press, but the visibility also too with like strategic partnerships. A lot of times small business owners, the biggest burden is finances. So getting with me, I can partner with you with other companies, other influencers, or even pro bono companies who can fund your endeavors. So like,
I love
that's
it.
Yeah.
So with the entrepreneurs, with the students at the college, do you provide your services for them as well?
So we're getting there. We did basically. So I didn't mentor each and every one of them because I wanted it to be like non-biased.
I got
know what I
you.
mean?
I got you.
So we
Yeah.
brought in 13 different mentors, and
Okay.
I think every mentee or coworker had about at least three each. So they mentored them and they helped them, develop their pitches and etc. And everybody was HBCU alum, which I loved as well.
Okay.
But what we did do is Zoom sessions for 3 weeks so that we can kind of have some training one-on-one
Nice.
with me. But
Mhm.
for my 3 winners, my top 3, they're gonna get a little bit more special treatment moving forward. But I'm still in support of everyone who didn't win as well.
Okay.
They're my focus.
That's your focus.
That's my focus.
So for the Spank experience,
Mhm.
how did you determine who was going to be?
The students?
Yes.
So I really wanted it to be, being that this is our first round, really just being all inclusive. Give every entrepreneur who has an innovative idea, a personal brand, or a small business the chance to really like showcase this, but also get the money to fund it. So it wasn't a limit in terms of like credibility or experience, just passion. Like passion and personality for me showcase like and surpassed more than anything else. So they had an application process, wasn't long. I think maybe like 18 questions at most. And they were simple questions like, who are you? Do you know your target audience? Why do you want to do this? What will you use the money for? And that just kind of gave me enough information to properly pair them with a mentor, because it wasn't like we just took 13 people and was like, here you go.
Yeah.
Here you go. Yeah. No, like Kirsten, and she'll talk about herself in a second, but she's a musician, singer, but now even transitioning into like artist development and management.
Nice.
Dina Diaz, radio host, media personality. She was one of her mentors, so that was an alignment. But we were able to discover that based off her questions in the application.
I love it. So one thing I wasn't clear on, did they already have a business, or did you just have a passion? You want to start a business and you wanted the grant for it?
Some of them did already have businesses that they were already working on, and then others had ideas that they developed and then formed the business after the project, like Kirsten.
That's what I was going to ask. So was there anyone that didn't already have one that won?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Look, that's what I'm talking about. And she looks so beautiful today. Okay, so you decided to put this together. Right. How was that day? I'll let her get into her experience with it, but for you on the background.
Stress, honey, stress. So I love the events management and planning component. Like I really just have a natural hack for like leadership and etc. But that competition, it was like anything that could go wrong could go wrong.
Really?
Yes. And she may not notice because it was a lot of stuff that just took place behind the scenes. But being that everything was sponsored, you always have people who will fall back or fall out and just kind of happen to find those replacements here and there. So in addition to my company being the main leader and then the Truist Foundation funding the prize, we did a partnership with eComplex ATL, who was funding the venue, like basically giving us the venue for both days. And
nice.
The day before,
oh yeah, she know what she doing.
The day before though, they said, hey, we got new management and we can no longer have this event.
Are you serious? So they didn't know they was getting a new manager before the day before?
It was like, okay, so I'm gonna try to give it like real brief, but basically the event manager who they had there, they had let her go. And she was the person who was dealing with us, but we never got a new point of contact. So I basically had got an invoice for $4,200.
Whoa.
And I looked at it and I'm like, what's this for? And so I reached out to her and she was like, hey, call me. And she was like, I haven't been there since March. I'm not sure what happened. I don't know why anybody has reached out to you, but so I reached out to the guy who actually owns it, who we've worked together in the past, and I'm like, what is going on? And he was like, reach out to the new point of contact. And I'm like, but I got you on the phone.
Right. And you're the owner.
Yeah, tell me what's up. But then I speak to the studio manager and she's like, well, unfortunately, we're closing down the location in May and end of operations was supposed to be the day before our event.
Oh my gosh.
So I was like, this is 2 days before. Like, what am I going to do?
Oh my gosh.
But again, shout out to Connections because we reached out to like everybody that I had in my archives. One of our mentors, he has an event venue location, Austin Fury, out in Decatur.
Okay.
But there was an issue there because our event was Friday and Saturday, and our decor sponsors were leaving the decor up overnight. So at his event, he didn't have Saturday available. It would have to be Friday and Sunday. So I'm like, well, where's all the decor going overnight? Like, that's just more components. City Councilman Mark came in and was like, let me see if I can get all the commissioners and everybody to fund it. But of course, we only had a day in between. So we wound up having like 4 different locations that wanted to work with us, but the space wasn't large enough for what we needed. So I had to bring in some legal and say, hey, this is what we had. This is the agreement. They're not holding up their end of the deal. And lo and behold, once them calls start calling, the event was back on.
Period.
And we made it happen. But yeah, the stress
That's
of just
crazy.
the event venue change was a lot.
That took a
Definitely.
lot of time when you needed to be
Yeah,
focused on other
exactly.
stuff.
So then they're asking me questions, and when I have a team about maybe like 5 people active in Atlanta, Georgia, and 10 total virtual. So
Okay.
they were like communicating with the students here and there, and
Nice.
they're asking me questions, and I'm like, y'all, I cannot take no stupid questions right now. Like in the nicest way possible. Ask them. I'm trying to make sure y'all event is still on, and I know you didn't even know that, so I'm interested to hear what you
She's like, wow, what?
No, exactly. It was a headache.
Wow.
Yeah.
So let's get into Kirsten, the Spank Tank Experience winner. Well, one Spark. I keep saying
No,
Spank.
you good.
Look, making it freaky in here for no reason. The Spark Tank Experience
Yes.
winner. So tell the people who you are and what you do.
Hello, everyone. I'm Kirsten Elise. I used to be a singer-songwriter. Well, I will say that I still do it from time to time.
Right.
However, I have shifted my focus, and my focus is now to focus on my business, which is for the entertainers, Forte Media, and it will be a PR firm that is geared towards independent artists and helping them grow.
I love that.
proud.
And you look, and she in a radio station, so we might get some team. Yeah, exactly. What made you want to do that?
What made me want to do that, as I said before, singer songwriter. I'm from Memphis, Tennessee.
Okay,
So
I hear it.
Yes.
Shout out to Memphis, Tennessee.
Shout out to Memphis, Tennessee, my city. Everybody sings. I don't know anyone who doesn't sing or who isn't. If they don't sing, they dance. They're very creative.
Okay.
So my experiences are heavy in the music realm. So I pretty much was in a music academy, and I did everything music for my entire life.
So what's your
And
genre? What do you like?
R&B is my favorite. R&B is my favorite.
Oh, look, she already know I'm about to get her to sing in a second.
Oh wow, we'll get
So
that.
what
That's
makes you
fine.
go from being an artist to artist development? Do you still want to? Because you said it formally. So are you going back to it?
I am just I believe in having different roles
Okay.
throughout your life. I think you do have a purpose, one
Mhm.
sole purpose. However, you have different roles that you handle to get to that purpose.
Absolutely.
And that's my belief. So
Mhm.
whatever God calls me to do.
Okay, awesome.
Good
Yeah. So what made me do the transition was really because Justin Timberlake, artist, he came back home and decided that he wanted to give back to the people in his community.
Okay.
And one way that he wanted to do that was going to like a music academy or somewhere like Stax, which I was attending at the time. And he wanted to give them the opportunity to write their own music, create, and do something with that. So he chose 4 songwriters and 4 producers. I was one of the 4. I released a single.
Okay.
Thank you.
She's so humble. She just that would have been my opening.
So exactly. So humble. I love it.
Yeah, well, I released the single.
Okay.
And from that, me and my peers released it on platforms. And from there, it pretty much just showed me that, like, I guess seeing them do it and then also being able to do it myself. I was promoting myself. I have done news interviews before, those kind of things. And it was just very enjoyable. Like, I saw the press releases and all the cool behind the scenes stuff. And I was like, what's that? At the time, we were in COVID. So I had the time to go research.
Mhm.
And I also figured out Clark Atlanta was where I wanted to attend school.
Nice.
And from figuring out Clark and seeing that they had the #1 mass media program, I started learning more about public relations and just how that is on the music side of it. So from that, I also realized like a lot of people that were creating alongside me, like putting out their music, I realized like they weren't doing all that they could. And I'm like, not like on a more trying to scale myself down, but I realized like they have so much talent. Like they could actually be way further if they just did these few steps.
You're like, I want to help them real quick.
I want to help them so bad. I was making promo videos. I'm not even good at promo. I wasn't good at promo videos at the time, but I really enjoyed that. So that's kind of what got me into PR.
I love it.
Yeah.
So that's what you're majoring in?
Yes, public relations.
Public relations.
Mhm.
Public relations. And then you got the best of the best right here.
Yes.
From CAU.
Yes, I love it. So tell me your process to get your pitch together to enter this.
Whew. Okay, so I don't know if Felicity knows this,
tell me.
but I had a whole breakdown. I would say,
Really?
yes, because from being at Clark, I've been trying to like get out of my comfort zone.
Right.
Since I made the transition to be in public relations, it also was partially about confidence as well,
Right.
and coming to a new city and doing a new thing.
Mhm.
So I kind of just found myself like completely going into music journalism and PR and not doing anything on the front side.
Okay.
So I decided to do a pageant. So I was working on this pageant
Mhm.
and I was crowned, but I was
Okay.
working on the pageant at the same time as the
Mhm.
competition,
Okay.
which was so
Oh, wow.
much work. Like my swimsuit didn't show up on time, the competition, the things that I had to showcase creativity in my everything just
The same
Yeah.
behind everything behind the
it didn't
scenes.
work
That's how life
out,
goes.
but it worked out.
Mhm.
So that's pretty much how that went down. So it was, I mean, my process was pretty much, I already had a business in my notes. I already had what I wanted to do, how I wanted to bring it to life. And I plan a lot. So it was pretty much already there. I just think the biggest thing was trying to find a way of creativity and also be confident in what I was saying.
Okay.
Because while I have this business idea, I've never
Yeah.
said it out loud.
Gotcha.
Ever.
Oh, you didn't practice it out loud.
I
You
mean,
got
I
there
practiced
and
it, but I've never said it to a
Publicly.
room.
Gotcha.
of
So nobody
people.
really knew it.
Nope.
That's how
no.
you're supposed to do it, though. You tell everybody, I'm learning now. Tell everybody what you're doing before you do it.
Mhm.
Somebody's going to take the ideal,
Mhm.
or it's not going to happen.
Yeah, I don't even think I told my mom. and
By
my
the
mom,
way, I won this competition.
yeah, and my mom knows everything, but I don't think I've ever like told her this is the business idea I have. This is
Yeah.
what I want
Wow.
to do. Yeah.
Amazing.
Can we hear a little bit of what the pitch was?
Yes,
Can we
yes,
able to do that?
yes, of course.
Yes. Okay. So I am, as I said, I want to be a publicist for a company. The company is called Forte Media for the entertainers. And basically, I wanted to cater to independent artists. And we will offer services as any PR firm would. The same thing that Felicity is doing for so many amazing smaller businesses, as she said, is the same thing that we will be doing for artists, only just helping them get their name out there and do things that they're not able to do as an independent artist, because it's much harder not having a manager, not having someone to help you, not having, and even working with DSPs, like having to put your music out on these distribution services is much harder. Like it's much harder being by yourself. And I think like I really want to help people learn how to do that and figure out how to do that and also promote themselves.
I
So
love it.
that's the biggest thing, without having to worry about like a label taking from you
Uh-huh.
or you're being limited on your creativity, because that should
Right.
be something you don't have to worry about.
I love
So,
it. So one thing owning a radio station, that even when independent artists come in here to do interviews,
mhm.
regardless if they have PR, regardless if they have management, one thing that I feel like they lack, that they're not getting enough of, is training on interviews. Yeah, because they come in here, you ask them a question, they answer, they sit there.
Yeah.
How long you been doing music? Since I was a baby.
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
you have
Yeah.
not been
Give us some
singing since 6
details.
months old.
Yes.
Give us something. Did you do
Yeah.
it? Would you sing it in school?
I had a
Did you wanna go to
interview
school
that with
for it?
somebody. And that drags the conversation
Mhm.
too. But I feel like what it is there's a lot of artists who just want to be artists, and
They
don't see
just
that it
wanna
has to
be
a full
artists.
package
Mhm.
experience. And media
Mhm.
training is important. And
Yes.
that is something that needs to come from the labels. BET experience, QC, and then they had a new artist they were putting out, and I'm like, they want to get an interview, and I'm like forcing like the answer out
It's
of me. That sounds
crazy.
impossible.
Yeah.
Media
Because I
training is
feel
Yeah.
exactly, because I feel like for any business, whether you're an artist, whether you're a chef, whether
Yeah.
you're a stripper, I feel people buy into the person, not necessarily the product.
Very
So
true.
if you're going in, you're doing an interview and you're fun and you're bubbly and
Right.
you're funny and you're
Yeah.
like, or inspirational. You don't even have to be funny. Like you could be a R&B artist and you're not like, I'm not a funny person, but I'm
Yeah, you're
motivational.
relatable.
Yeah. People buy into people.
Mhm.
So when they come in and they're not saying anything, they're not doing anything, it's kind of like,
Yeah.
okay,
Right.
you don't sound like you believe in yourself. Why
Yeah.
am I putting money into your music?
And not
Why do I
only
want to
that,
download
like you want to put out the music, you should know like the business side of what goes
Exactly.
into it, which a lot of people don't know either. And I just wanted to be educated
it?
myself,
Mhm.
and I taught myself, and I really do credit Stacks Music Academy for putting me on game and helping me
Yeah.
learn the music business side. So
Yes, and the business side, you have to spend money to make money. They don't want to pay for interviews. They don't want to pay for photo shoots. They don't want to pay for like just image
Mhm.
consulting. Period.
Yeah.
Everything all around. All they think is, I just need money to go to
Yeah,
the
they don't
studio.
think
But you
they
got to do
need
things
it.
before all of
Yeah.
that stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's
I
why
just
they like to get
encourage.
signed, because they're lazy. Like, you know, they
Make them do
want
everything
the deal,
else.
you know, the record deal. I'm gonna get a deal. I'm gonna get a deal. I'm gonna get a deal.
Mhm.
And then the deal is supposed to cover the image and everything. But these record labels want people who come already
Mhm.
prepackaged.
And that's sometimes
Have
it's
something
not.
to give.
Yeah.
And that's
know?
all the artists is seeing. Like I think
Yeah.
that's another thing. That's all they've seen. That's the
Yeah.
only thing that they know
Mhm.
is getting a deal,
Mhm.
getting signed to someone.
And
So
that's
I
why
think,
you here.
yeah.
And that's why you're here. Exactly. Okay, so with the experience, you go in there, you give your pitch. What
Mhm.
happens from there?
Whew. First of all, met so many amazing people.
Yeah.
Everyone, yeah, like she said, so many alum from Clark Atlanta. So
Okay.
that was a good deal. After I would say that I was a little bit nervous. I
Really?
actually was, because of how the preparation went.
Okay.
I knew what I wanted to say, but after that I was just content with the way everything was going, but
Good.
slightly nervous
Okay.
with the outcome, just because I always want to, at least if I don't win or if I don't show up as my full self, at least give something,
Give
inspire
something.
somebody, give
Mhm.
one, at least 1%, something.
Now, were you all in there the same time, or did like different people come in? Did you get to hear other pitches? Did you know what
we
other
heard
people were
other
doing?
pitches.
Oh,
Mhm.
that makes it even more
I know.
intimidating. It's
Yeah.
like, girl.
Yeah.
And the judges ask questions at the end. So
Yes.
it's like, you
Oh,
don't know what they're
wow.
gonna ask you
Yeah.
in response to what you just pitched. So like, you
Mhm.
can't prepare for the unknown. Like, you can, because
Mhm.
you know some of the questions they're gonna ask, but the questions that I thought they would ask were not the ones that were
Oh,
asked.
wow.
So,
That's good,
Yeah.
though, because
Yeah.
sometimes it's just off a conversation and something
Exactly.
else comes to
Mhm.
your
Yeah.
mind, and then you ask that.
Yeah, they definitely hit on whatever it was for you more specifically.
Okay.
Once they heard the things that you might need to mention, something that
Right.
they didn't hear, what's something that they haven't heard you say, then they may bring it up. And I thought that was really cool, because they gave some questions that I didn't think about at first.
So you
yeah.
implement it into your practice then.
Yes,
Yeah.
most definitely. It was very helpful.
Good. Okay, so then you heard other pitches. Then did y'all have an intermission? Did y'all have to
It was
wait a day or two, or
slight.
like was
Oh,
it everything?
no, not a day or
everything was
two.
told that day
same
who the
day.
winner
Same
was.
day.
So
Same
they
day.
went and deliberated, and we're gonna say
Uh-huh.
and blah blah blah. Was it like
Yeah.
anonymous for everyone, or was there some split decisions?
So I won't get too much into the back end of the numbers and etc. But I will say each judge, they had score sheets. And
Okay.
so like I said, we met prior to the competition. So all of the students started with a score based off how much effort they put out.
Okay.
So it was like, if you came to Zoom, you got 10 points. If you did an assignment, you got 10 points.
Okay.
And so you can opt out of not doing it. But when that score sheet came, all of those
Mm.
numbers were added to like the final score.
Mhm.
So somebody could have lost just based off not attending a Zoom. But I will say I was very satisfied with the correlation between like the scores and our final participants.
Yes.
But they're the lead like prompt questions. So like, did she say what school she attended or was representing? Like that was points on their thing, like at the top. So if they did answer that, some of the judges will ask like, hey, well, what school did you say you go to? And that was their way of like helping them to like, get that point on the sheet.
Okay. Mhm.
Others were like, again, passion, personality, impact, but then also diversity and inclusion, because this is specifically for HBCU. So like, what,
I love it.
how does that, how does that tie into that? So, but once the judges gave me the score sheets, they went back into like this little side room,
Mhm.
did their numbers, and they're like, all right, Felicity, we're ready. And I don't think it took longer than maybe like 20 minutes.
Oh wow.
Yeah, like they were fast, but all of the judges, these are like well-known, renowned professionals. We had the Clark Atlanta University cheerleading coach of 14 years. So she was really looking at overall performance,
Yeah.
presentation. Look,
Yeah.
that's my cheer coach. Yeah. Then we
I knew you was a cheerleader.
Yeah.
I could tell.
I love it. I'm retired now. Maybe I'll go into coaching one day. But yeah, former
Mhm.
cheerleader.
Mhm.
We had Shannon Stone, who owns the Black Coffee Shop. It's like out here in Atlanta.
Okay.
And so like everybody, Jazz Talks Law. She's a well-known trademark attorney. So they were even asking
Oh, wow.
legal questions, like
Mhm.
Nice.
good, really good questions. Like, well, how is this protected? What are your plans? So they really knew what they were doing.
Good.
And so it didn't take them long. They gave me the scores, and I was like, all right. We let people keep dancing,
Mhm.
and, taking pictures and interacting, because you really
That's
don't want to
what
kill
I
that
was
vibe.
doing.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
electric slide.
That's why it made it go by
Oh,
fast.
yeah.
While they working, you over here partying.
Yeah. And then we also had the survey component. So to make sure that we can continue to have programs like the Truist Foundation investing into small businesses and giving out these stipends, all they asked was that we had 30 surveys completed from the event.
Okay.
So during that time, we were really hey, take a survey, take a
Yeah.
survey, take a survey. And then in exchange, people who took surveys, we gave out free alcoholic beverages because I needed the surveys done for me. And so once that was over and we met our survey number for the night, we called all the students to the stage, gave everybody out appreciation and completion certificates, and then announced our winners.
Nice. So was it from from freshmen to seniors, or was it just all seniors?
We had some freshmen,
Okay,
sophomores, transfer students, like everything. Seniors as well. Yeah.
Good.
I love that.
All right, so back to you, Mel.
Yeah.
So then they announced the winner, and what has happened since? What have you been doing? What did you get the money yet? Like, what's going on?
So my prize was a website.
Right.
So
Okay.
website development from Felicity and her
Okay.
business.
Yeah.
Nice.
I won 3rd place.
Yeah.
Okay.
So pretty much I've just been getting to know my mentor still. I mean,
Yeah.
we've been getting to know each other, having
Yeah.
fun, just learning. Also, she's still helping me develop some business ideas that were already
Nice.
there.
Okay.
And now it's pretty much talking about the logistics of what the website will look like.
Yes.
And
Okay.
yeah, so that's what I've been doing.
That's what I love the most is that you said you still talk to the mentor. So the
Yes.
mentor
Mhm.
comes with it ongoing.
Yes. So they all had that option. So,
Okay.
continue. But we have another student who was in the program. Her name was Angel Mitchell. She was a graphic designer who was pitching her graphic design business and podcast.
Okay.
And her mentor was Kayla Life, who's also in the Watson Institute and Truist Foundation Fellowship with me. She owns a company called the Rebrand Land Agency, which is a digital marketing graphic design company. Angel now works with Kayla. So she
Wow.
was able to get a job and, develop their mentorship. So there may be some students who be like, I wasn't really feeling my mentor, and that's okay. But that's why I thought it was important so that they all had at least 2 or 3 to kind of
Yeah.
really lead with somebody. But I definitely feel like everybody was matched perfectly.
I love it. So what was your takeaway for this whole first of all, do you mind if I ask how old you are?
I'm 20.
You're 20.
Yes.
Oh my
I
God,
had to
didn't
think
even
about
know
it.
that.
No, she's
I had to
20.
think about
She's a baby.
I had to
Oh
think
my
about it.
God.
I just turned 20 in
You
March.
just turned.
Mhm.
Wow. So what's your takeaway experience? And also, well, let me ask, because I don't want to miss my question. What's your takeaway experience? And then why entrepreneurship
That was a good
at
question.
20 years old? Yeah.
My takeaway experience is basically I feel like I just learned how to vocalize my ideas more.
Okay.
Because before I did have ideas, I mean, I've never been afraid to say what those ideas were, but I feel like this helped me do it in a more polished way that I wasn't sure of how to do at first.
Okay.
So I would say that's my biggest takeaway. And also networking will always be my takeaway from everything because this experience was pretty dope.
Mhm.
And I'm still connected with some really great people that I
Great.
think this relationship will carry on. So I would say those are my biggest takeaways from the experience. And second question.
Why entrepreneurship?
Why entrepreneurship? That's right. Okay. Why entrepreneurship at 20? I mean, I just like to help people, and I just love music.
Okay.
I don't really think about it as I never even really just thought about it like this is entrepreneurship. I don't think I ever just sat down and thought about it that way. I think I just always thought about what the idea was and how it's going to help people. So yeah, I would say I'm just excited for what's to come.
I love it. So we're gonna give her some insight. Right, she's so country. I love it.
Really,
We're gonna give her some insights on just entrepreneurship because I think at 20 we have like this mentality like the world is gonna love us and we're gonna do this and this is gonna work and everything's gonna be great and I'm gonna be rich.
No, it's not gonna be great.
Just so for me, entrepreneurship, I love it because I know now I can work for other people. I have done it for the last 90 days. Shout out to Sunshine who challenged me thinking I was only going to work for like a week or two, 90 days straight. So entrepreneurship for me is, like you said, giving back, being able to see something that someone wasn't doing or didn't have the ability to do or the opportunities to have and watch them grow into what they're doing. That's what my experience and what I love about it is just getting the opportunity and giving it to somebody else because I've had a lot of things handed to me. So to be able to give to somebody who isn't able to go to college for media and relations and broadcasting and have the platform and able to do that, then you have someone like Sunshine who helps put shows together, like the structure of it. Some people only get that from school. You got people who you try to ask, like they do shows and they do other things. They don't want to help you because they're like, "Nah, I had to get it out the mud. You got to get it out the mud." So that's just one thing of why I do it. The downfalls of it is it becomes expensive. The people you think are going to support you are not going to support you, and you cannot be mad about that. It took me years to get to that point. Like, my family and my friends aren't supporting me. My sister is in medical field. What is she gonna help me with? Like, you know, I can't get mad at somebody who isn't into, like, so if somebody's not into music, you can't get mad at your best friend is not, you know, coming out to every show. She might not like R&B. She might like Ratchet. She might like Sexy Red. So it's just, you have to build your audience. You have to build your community, build your business. And 9 times out of 10, it is not going to come from your family and your friends. Those are your family. Those are your friends. Those are the ones that are going to keep you humble. Those are the ones that are going to keep you going. But those are probably not the ones that's going to spend money with your business. So that's the main thing I always want people to know when they enter the entrepreneurship world. On top of that, again, it takes money to make money. You got to spend money. So if you got to go out there and get a full-time job while you're doing that, please do that. Don't let people say, I slept in my car, I lost my house. To me, that's stupid. There's so many ways to make money that you don't have to lose everything to gain. So keep that in mind too. Don't feel bad if you ever have to go back, because I went back to work and I own this. Amen. I literally went back to work because I'm like, it's other things that I want to do that the funds that I have over here is not covering everything that I need. Sis, you got to go back. So if you got to backtrack, if you got to restructure your business 5,000 times, restructure it 5,000 times. Is there anything you want to tell her?
First of all, you got to be a mentor for the next round. But that was amazing. I really admire the transparency, because same thing I tell people all the time. Like, up until May, I was working with Clayton County Board of Commissioners and running PR and program coordinating for them. Because the reason why I went back was because I gave birth to my daughter who needed the medical benefits. So that was like the main reason. But then when I realized how much I could leverage the capital between what I was already making over here and there, I was like, hey. Now I wound up leaving just because of the lack of flexibility for me. Like, and you know, it just the cons outweighed the pros in that situation, but never, you know, be too good to go and do anything else. And I also think that for me, it was kind of a conflict of interest, being that I was doing the same thing. I started to feel like I'm pouring out all my creativity, or I'm giving them every good idea I have, because it's the same exact thing when I leave work to do it for me or for another client. So I did say, if I go back into the field and I'm working for someone else, I want it probably to be education, like business. I love it. You know, stay in that field. The other areas and where I had passion, you know, for that don't conflict with the creativity. But I love that you said that, because that's so important. Never be too prideful to go back to work or get a 9 to 5 or even do remote work. Like I said, so many possibilities now where you don't really even have to be in office, but make sure the bills is paid.
Make sure the business
pays. For me, outside of that, it was just like an empathy thing. Like, I have such a big heart. So coming into entrepreneurship in Atlanta was tough, because like I wanted to help everyone. I've been on everyone's team, and just really feeling like things weren't reciprocated in terms of like effort, support, and it's just really like a nice, nasty culture here. You know what I mean? And that's not me. Like, I'm just nice. The nasty was expired when I left New York. Okay, I was like, I'm coming down here and I'm gonna be better. Like, I'm gonna do better. Then I get around all these people, and I'm like, I'm still doing bad. This ain't really what I signed up for. Right. So really just trying to like find a balance in personality, and just kind of knowing that like it's okay to be empathetic, but sometimes you got to turn that off.
Sometimes you got to turn it off.
Especially with team too. Like, we've been through so many people up until this point. I have a solid team now, and everybody's rocking.
Good.
But just feeling like too many chances. Too many, like, you know, that forgiving heart is gonna bite you in the behind if you don't put your foot down sometimes. So yeah, just let the empathy go. Remember that business is business and personal is personal. So like, sometimes it's okay, but you really just have to like have a discernment of who and when and why before you give it. So that's something important for me. But then also collaboration. Like, that's always going to be the thing that I push for anybody, because it's so, you can do so much more and you can impact so much more when you collaborate with the next person over just trying to do everything by yourself. Like, I was like that at the beginning. I'm like, I don't want to let nobody into my circle.
Oh, child.
I don't want y'all to touch my business. I see what y'all doing over there. I don't think you can help me over here. But just really learning that everybody can teach you something.
Yes.
Like, even if it's not the things that you think you need, it could be a lesson in that. Like, one of my first mentors that I came here to Atlanta, and I will not say this lady's name, terrible experience. But I learned so much of what not to do from the experience with her,
Yeah.
with also still having, you know, experience in the same
Right.
time. So just know that everything can be a lesson, and you know, everybody can teach you something. No matter
Everybody.
what walk of life they come from.
Absolutely. And that's what I get with, I know I keep shouting out my girl
positivity is
Sunshine, but
good.
I was literally wearing every hat, like looking crazy because I got every hat on, and she's like, I can help do this, I can help do that. I'm like, no, I got it. That was my favorite thing to say. I got it.
Oh, we
Because
a
you
lot
feel
alike.
like, you feel like
Yeah.
one, nobody's going to do it quite like you're going to do
Yeah.
it. Two, you feel like this is your baby. Nobody's going to
Exactly.
care about it
As much
quite
as
like you do.
Mhm.
This girl here, she is nobody to
Yeah.
play with. When I say, when it comes to his 92.3, this girl
Yeah.
does not play, and she has my back to the T. Like, I literally was
Aw.
able to go work a full-time job, and I work at night, and she has literally been here every single day for like a year,
Yeah.
every day, all day. Like, she has her own office now to this point.
I love
So
that.
shout out to Sunshine. Make sure y'all check her show
Yes,
out each
that's
and
actually
every
how I got
day.
introduced to Hits
Oh,
92.3.
nice. Sunshine?
Yes.
There we go.
FPO, our March fitness event, Women's History.
Are you doing
I did. Yeah, I facilitated
See there?
that event. I was publicist over that event, and that's when we met.
cute ass shoes?
I did.
Look at
And you was like, "You not gonna work out?" I said, "I look like I'm gonna work out." No, I got on heels, baby. I did not come here to work out. I came here to run this event. But that's when we met, and I loved your personality, and I loved your energy, and that aura to me, that authenticity is so
I'm telling you,
important.
she
So
is
when
the
you find
truth.
People like that, you hold on to them and you keep them tight.
Absolutely. Shout out to International Writers ATL. He said, set a weekly goal and pay yourself weekly.
Amen.
That took me a long time to realize that too, because I felt like you got to make sure the business is taken care of.
Yeah.
You got to make sure employees is taken care of.
Right.
You got to make sure you put money to the side,
Yeah.
and then you broke.
Yeah.
So if you don't pay yourself, how are you going to be motivated to keep going in order to do other things? So yeah, definitely make sure that you pay yourself.
Yeah.
That's
Also
good
understand
advice.
that sometimes you won't be paid. Like in those first 3 years, everybody
Ooh.
thinks that they're going into just profit. But like,
Yep.
I made my first $1 million in college,
Mm-hmm.
and I never saw it. But that's because it was so
Uh-huh.
much that went into building the business and building the events and networks and stuff. And so when I brought in my financial accountant, I was able to retain that profit and actually keep some in the bank.
Yeah.
But I want to say your first year, like, it'd be ideal to profit as much as you want, but you may not get paid.
You may not get
okay with
paid.
not being paid.
Mhm.
And then
You got to do everything yourself
Yeah,
too
the
until
last
you can
thing,
pay.
leverage somebody else's pockets. That's the one thing that being a publicist has taught me. There are so many companies and corporations who will give you the money. Thank you, Watson. Thank you, Truist Foundation. I appreciate you so much.
Oh yeah, we're gonna talk, sis.
Yeah. And you just have to come prepared. Like you said, that being polished and being able to vocalize your pitch, your concept. There's people who have like literally quotas that they have to meet. Like one of my favorite is OCHS Hope, right? They get a monthly voucher of like $600 that they have to use on just community and impactful events.
I need you.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So they're always
Yeah.
like, Felicity, we got this money. We didn't hit our quota this week. You got an event. Yes, I need a sponsor for food, for drinks. And a lot of times if they can't give you money, they'll give you some type of component. Like one time they couldn't sponsor the event, but they hired a caricature. Like the cartoonist who came out and he was doing custom pictures. Like that's a dope component at any event. Like, oh, I got a great picture. Look at me. And I'm from New York, so I don't know. Maybe I love caricatures, but I just thought that was so dope. So just really being able to know, like, it doesn't have to just be your pockets. It doesn't just have to be your funding. It doesn't just have to be your credit. And that's one of the greatest lessons I have learned.
That's amazing.
Being in this field.
That is amazing. Yeah, I definitely need your services. So we're gonna talk outside of this.
Yes.
So before we get out of here, because we got the GOAT Shop coming up next at 11 o'clock. Tell everybody again what this event is. Do you have a date set for next year, or what's the plans? Because people are gonna want to get involved.
So I'm actually pitching to keep this going on annually on June 6th at the Truist and Watson Foundation Summit. So every cohort who is in there and hold their base camp will have the opportunity to pitch to the investors and ask for the money. So to do this again next year, and the component that I want, we would need $15,000.
Okay.
Which is fine because there's other people in my cohort asking for $2 million, $5 million, and etc. So my 15,000 should be nothing.
Period.
We want to do a residency where we keep the students on venue location for 3 days. So the first 2 days we'll do everything that we did in our accelerator for 3 weeks, but in 2 days. Breakout rooms, bring out different people, different guests, community builders, and the location I've actually used before for Girl Mob's 1 year anniversary. So it's an Airbnb that was a church. It was renovated. They have an amazing upstairs, but downstairs has bed occupancy that can sleep 28.
Nice.
So I want to open it to all HBCUs, get the students to come out probably during the summer, bring them in, let them stay, and then have our event on that last day.
I love it.
Yeah, it's gonna be great as long as they cut my check.
As long as they cut this check, I'm talking about. Yeah, so I want to make sure that Hits 92.3 is a part of that.
Yes.
So even if we have to do this once a month, just to keep it, you know,
Absolutely. I
the
love
mentality
that.
going and the motivation going and
Right.
everything that's
Yes.
going with it, we can talk about this every single month, or even if it's closer to that, because I definitely want Hits 92.3 to be a part of that
Yes, and
project.
we would love you to be a part of it. And
Absolutely, we're doing it. We're doing it.
And we're gonna get her on a panel. We need you involved. And I just appreciate you so much for having us and really just pouring back into your students as well.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Yes, you are welcome, and then same for you. Anything you want to say? Any
I just
shout
wanna say
outs?
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
This was definitely a dope experience. I appreciate your advice, Felicity's advice, and whoever commented on the live. I appreciate your advice as well. Definitely be helpful.
So
for me.
shout out your business again, because we're gonna be hearing more about
yes.
it.
Forte Media for the entertainers, coming soon, everyone.
I love it. So you are tuned in to the Lick Show on Hits 92.3. Again, we got the GOAT Shop coming up next. Make sure you follow us on all social media platforms at Hits 92.3. The website www.hits923atl. No, Atlanta.com. 923atlanta.com. Shout out to All Hustle No Fear, our flagship show that's on every single day from 8 to 10 a.m. I'll be back when you see me. That's all I got to say. Make sure you follow the Lick Show. We out. Peace. Hey, the secret's out. Hits 92.3 is now accepting submissions for brand new shows. That's right. You could become a radio personality right here on Hits 92.3, the real definition of internet radio. You don't have experience? That's okay. You don't live in Georgia? That's okay. You don't know what to do now? Now that's not okay. But your girl is here to help you out. Email us today at hits923newshow@gmail.com and tell us about your potential show with Hits. Again, that email address is hits923newshow@gmail.com. Don't be last. The slots are filling fast.